Dynamic chest opening. So opening the chest is required for each and every Silver and Fit signature class. So for Explore, Experience, and Excel. The reason why it's required is because it's a very commonly tight area on most people. And we need to think of why it's tight. How do a lot of people spend the majority of their day? Seated. So we're going to start with that first progression in a seated position. So again, making sure your students are nice and secure on that chair. So think of all the time your students may spend watching TV or knitting or reading a book or doing something in the seated position. A lot of times they're nice and relaxed and they're slouched forward. Another reason people may slouch a little more is they may not be feeling very good about themselves. Depression is on the rise with older adults. And when people are depressed or they're not feeling confident, they're not feeling good, a common tendency is that they just kind of sink in. And when they sink in, their gaze goes down and they're not as aware of everything around them. So the simple act of opening the chest is not only beneficial so that they have better movement efficiency and less chance of injury, it's also beneficial because the minute somebody sits up tall and they open up their chest, they're able to look other people in the eyes. They're aware of their surroundings to help prevent falls, and it just feels a lot better. So it's good to cue your students to sit tall, sit confident, and sit proud. So we're going to go through a few examples. There's many ways to dynamically open the chest, but a few examples and varieties that you can use with your students. So in the seated position, we're going to start with the Cobra, which is also one of our strength training exercises. And this one is excellent. You start with the thumbs forward for your students because their shoulders are relaxed down. So especially with the Explorer students, the tendency is, if we bring the arms up, a lot of times for their shoulders to come up also. So the Cobra allows them to open their chest with the shoulders relaxed down from the ears. So they start with the thumbs forward, and then you simply just cue them to take their palms forward, squeeze their shoulder blades together and down, opening the chest, and then returning back by the side. So it's the same as the weight training exercise, and they're actually engaging those posture muscles. So they're engaging their rhomboids that bring the shoulders together and their lower trapezius, which brings the shoulders down towards their bottom, and then relaxing down. Another great chest opener to use, especially with your Explore, your seated participants, is the hug. So you do the Cobra, and then you tell them to give themselves a big hug. So think about what it took for that student to come into class today. It probably took a lot. It was probably even a little scary for them to come to class. So you can say, open up, thank yourself for coming to class, and then give yourself a nice big hug. So those are a few seated options. We're going to try a few now in a standing position with light support. So coming up, coming to the side of the chair, gentle hold on the chair. You can have your students use one arm, and they can open one side at the time. And this is actually nice too, because we're going to get in a little extra neck mobility. So looking at their thumb, you can just have them open, gently look behind, and then come back center. Open, look towards that thumb, and come back center. Now, for your more advanced students who may be able to lift their arms a little higher, we can come to the freestanding position, and we can flow what we call a goal post. So hands are by the thighs, and we're going to lift up into a goal post position, open the chest, and then take the hands back to the thighs. So you're going to notice we're dynamically opening, and then we're coming back down. Now, I want you to think what comes up must come down. So if we stayed up here too long, the majority of your students may start elevating those shoulders, and we want, again, to have them relax. So we're going to flow just nice and gently to goal post, and back down. Now, for your more advanced students, you can absolutely integrate dynamic chest opening into some of the other exercises. So let's take the hip flexor, for example. 1 foot forward, on the back toe, your students drop down, they take the hip forward, and they have support on one thigh. Now we're going to do that dynamic chest opening, looking at the thumb, getting neck mobility. So we're opening, gazing to the back, and then coming back center. Now you can tell this is going to take a lot more stability and balance. So this is great for your Excel or your advanced level experienced students. Opening the chest, as a reminder, is mandatory for all the Silver and Fit signature classes. So simple cues, tell your students we want to open the chest so that they're standing tall, confident, and proud.